Hi guys, welcome back. Today is September 2nd, 2025, day 92 of our AIWOS journey. And in this video, I'm going to explain how some self-imposed pressure and rush to make a commitment is now going to cost me, 2 weeks of hard physical labor when it didn't have to. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys will learn from my mistakes. It sure won't be the same, but either way, when you put pressure on yourself and you don't have to, you end up making decisions you don't really need to make, and you don't think about everything all the time. So, I'm going to start off on the client side. Everything is great with the client. I'm in great communication with them. There's nothing going on with that. In fact, I have a couple more clients that I will be starting. Well, I would like to start a same thing, a behind the scenes vlog with their product once I get permission to do so. One's in the entertainment industry and one is in travel. The stacks are currently being developed. Both projects are basically at various stages of development. You know, they're not nearly as far along as our AIWOS project. So once I get permission from those clients, I will love to do another behind the scenes development on those. I am recording them in case I get permission to do so. Then I will share them with you guys. Now, before I go into the development work and where I went with that, let me tell you how I made this mistake and how I got committed into this problem. When I was in Georgia, before I left, there was a problem with the site. In the existing lighting doesn't align with all of the aisleways of the new racks. So I was asked back before I left to get some quotes from electricians to relocate all these lights and install some new ones. Basically, it's relocating 45. That's the gist of it. But it's all up on a scissor lift in a hot, humid Georgia warehouse. And it's grunt work. It's not easy. It's time consuming because all the racks are in place and everything's there. My bids were crazy. Put it mildly, I think it was 40K was about the lowest one I got. I've been an electrician for years. I know exactly what to do, but I'm not there and I'm not going to do that. So I got the bids, gave them to the company. That's on them. All right. That's really nothing I can do. Come back home, start doing my testing. When we left off, when I left Georgia, I had my Raspberry Pi running, AIWOS, spitting out like a champ, 1 frame per minute per camera, pumped through the pipeline, storing them in the cloud beautifully, right? Was it the 16th? Went to do our first launch, which wasn't much. It was a few things with those images. Just starting to recognize QR code, basic, right? I wanted to phase this all in. We ran into some remote access issues. Well, when I was there, we had everything set up. I had done testing. It was good. What I didn't realize until a couple weeks later, is some of the errors or some of the reasons why it was working there, but it wasn't going to work here. One of the things is I set up a deployments folder so that new versions, when I release them, I can put them in this folder, and my Raspberry Pi will be watching this folder, and when I set off a trigger file in there, it'll recognize that file and stop the current process, unzip whatever file I just told it to trigger, unzip that and start running that process instead. Okay. That's how it was designed when I left. When I got here, I went to go do my launch. Cameras are still pumping. They're still running version 1.1. I can't get in there. Okay, so first I can't get in there to stop it. I had issues on my IoT through the cloud. Okay, well, it's all right. I'll just set it up in deployments, run it that way. Waited, never took it. Version 1.1 still running strong. Pi's perfect. I mean, it's solid. It has not missed a minute since the 13th of August. Still running today. Can't stop it. This is when panic started to set in. When I realized no matter what I do, without going back on site and physically working with the Pi, I can't stop the process that's running nor do anything. So my panic set in, and back in my head I think of this project over that this company is about to hire someone to go do. And I'm like, well, I don't want to, I mean, flights from Oregon all the way to Georgia, the hotel, the car rental, the time I'm going to be there, I mean, all of it adds up. And I don't want to be out of pocket for another round trip that I wasn't planning for. It's not in my budget. So I think to myself, you know what? I could be there for 2 weeks. I'll do the work. Even though I know it's a lot of work, I'll just do it. You know, bite the bullet. It'll save them money. It's just physical work for me, you know. So I committed to doing it. They're happy. Flights get booked like boom, boom, same day. That night, I'm sitting around thinking, I go, you know what I could have done was not be pressured, because this is just self-inflicted pressure on myself. I was in no hurry to get back. I know I'm going to be going back next in like a month and a half, and they're not in a hurry for this system. So, but this is my self-induced pressure. I made this commitment to go back and do this work. The day after I made a commitment, I thought about it. Why don't I just buy another Raspberry Pi? Program it here. Ship it off in a little folder to someone on site. The problem was I didn't want to send them a file before, because they would have had, with IDF 15 feet in the air, they would have had to take a monitor all the way up there, a keyboard, a mouse, and I would have had to walk them through it. Now I can do a hot swap with Raspberry Pi with the new configurations. Why it didn't work, this is why it didn't work, was everything was set up, but I did not put what's called a watcher script. A watcher script says every now and then while you're running this program, go look in deployments and see what's there. Never put that little script in there. And because I missed that script to tell it to look to see if there's a trigger, right? It'll look now, well, once this one gets there, it'll look in deployments. And if it sees zip files or whatever, no problem, ignore it. But once I put the trigger that says trigger, and it sees a new trigger, it'll stop. It'll do what it's supposed to do, okay? I could have just mailed this over and had anyone go up there without a monitor, without anything, and just hot swap it. Unplug the network connection, unplug power, and do that, and be done. You know, I didn't want to do it because of the risk of 15 feet in the air with monitors and stuff. So, because I made a rash decision, I'm flying to Georgia on the 13th through the 26th to do all the work moving lighting. So, that's where I'm at with this. Now, that being the case, version 1.1 still running strong, has not missed a single minute from any camera anywhere all the way through the cloud. My pipeline, we can go beyond saying the burn-in is done. The burn-in is solid. You know, it works. I have upcoming versions which I was going to implement, But now that I'm going, I'm just thinking, just wait till I go. Okay, so I have all of these all these versions zipped up, ready to go. Version 2.1 gives is the original package. 2.2 is the additional 13 fixed cameras from the security system. I couldn't add these before because I didn't have the user password from the security company to the cameras themselves. I had it to the DVR, but I wanted them to the specific cameras. Now I have that. Now I've tested that. I can actually hit the images right off of the camera and never affect their security system. So now that I got that, version 2.2 implements that. Version 2.3 is my tiered boot logic, implementing both the existing security cameras with my PTZs. I made this so that it would work in future sites no matter what they have, as long as the system has the bare minimum 3 PTZs. Okay. It is designed now to look at all that's available, figure out what views they have, and start to utilize them in a logical way. That took days of me getting that part done. That tiered boot logic and the PTZ fallback is all in 2.3. 2.4 is remote PTZ control and a full revamping of the developer dashboard. It integrates an overlay which will show in real time knowledge of AI knowledge of what it's learned. So if there's a forklift in view, I'll be able to see I have a 35% confidence I know that forklift every time I see it. Whereas opposed to the one next to it may have, instead of it red, it may be in green, and it'll have an 80 to 88% confidence level in forklift 1, and so forth. It's how it learns, so the operators and developers can start to track and figure out where it's missing and what it's actually learning as it goes. This is going to help me a lot to have that part of it done. So that's in 2.4. All of these are all packaged up, ready to flash onto this Pi and install and send. But like I said, I'm going there on the 13th. So I'm probably going to end up just bringing it with me at this point. And I will keep you up informed on what goes on from there. Like I said, I'm going to start doing a series on both of those upcoming projects, and if I get permissions, I'll share those with you guys. And that's about it for this week. I will get you guys caught up on next week, vlog 10. Have a good week, you guys.